Hello, hello, and welcome to ShishaTime. We're all good?
Yeah. I think so. Am I still muted?
No. I can hear you loud and clear. I love this troubleshooting while we are live. And we have one viewer so far. Hello.
Hello.
Okay. How's everyone doing tonight?
Great.
Thanks, Leila. Great.
Oh, was I not supposed to answer that? All right.
No, you can't. It's so funny.
I'm just really having FOMO about not having a green ring light right now.
So let's give people a little bit of time to join, and then we can start after that.
Hi, Camille. Hi, Cassandra.
Just gonna do a quick.
They're talking to us in the chat, guys. Just say hello. Don't be rude.
Hi, friends.
Cassandra has to be here, so she doesn't need to be acknowledged.
Well, that's rude. I will acknowledge everybody.
That's because we love Leila. Leila's a sweetie.
I want to know if anyone in the audience is smoking shisha.
Anybody?
No one is.
We're the only ones who are like willingly damaging our lungs for this.
Yeah, I mean, any type of smoking is accepted.
Well, there was a mature thing at the beginning, right? Only mature audiences in this thing, please.
Yeah, I'm not sure if like the rest of the world necessarily agrees with any smoking being accepted. We should probably do a disclaimer and say, just so you know, smoke at your own risk, just like us.
Dima, you need to make a filter that has like, the no smoking things that go on cigarette packages.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Look at this. Giving us ideas.
Anna Simone.
Anna, don't. I know.
I'm gonna show that comment.
It's Dima's Valentine's Day present for me. Is that she's smoking shisha?
This is for Leila. This is the only time.
This is also a live roast of Dima, clearly.
This is a live roast of Dima. I would like that. I miss do you remember that live roast of Justin Bieber? Or was Justin Bieber roasting Stephen Harper? It was one of the two, but it was so funny. I think it was Bieber roasting Stephen Harper. Anyways, I'm down to be Stephen Harper in this situation.
Okay.
Guys, stop roasting me. Oh my God.
I'm just gonna leave it there.
Apparently, there's this thing. I don't remember who told me about it or who wanted to do it, but it's like a roasting party. So like everybody gets together over like a roast, so like a pot roast or something, and you just take turns roasting each other.
That's sick. I love that.
That's cute.
Or roast the host. Roast the host. Yeah.
Okay, that's bad news.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. True. Because like I can dish it, but I can't take it.
Oh shit.
Same. I'm baby.
I'm gonna have to take a little bit tonight. I don't know what to say.
I think that's the air sign in us, Dima. We can dish it, but we can't take it.
It's true.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it. Okay, so let's see. I think we've got more folks here. So we'll start off with land acknowledgement. Are you okay, Leila?
I'm just like, this is... I'm great. I told you this already. I'm great.
Okay, awesome. So hello, hi everyone. Thanks for being here. Welcome to ShishaTime. This is our first one ever with Leila Fatemi, who's one of our artists in our first ever exhibition, Shock, which you can find on our website. More on that later, but we're going to start with a land acknowledgement. So Dead Projects comprises of me, myself, Netta, and Dima, who's just above me. And we rest on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, the Chippewa, the Wendat, and most recently the Mississaugas of the Credit. But Toronto is also now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. This land was signed under the Toronto Purchase Treaty number 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. But while this acknowledges the history of the land that we're sitting on, we're also currently in digital space as well. And often Indigenous peoples are left out of the conversation around technology and futures. So it's important to bring that layer into our acknowledgement as well. So I'm going to read something written by Jason Edward Lewis, a digital media theorist, poet, and software designer based in Tiohtià:ke, also known as Montreal. He introduced a framework for Indigenous self-determination in digital space called the Indigenous Future Imaginary Intentions. And they are, number 1, manifest the future with Indigenous peoples in it. Number 2, hybridize the present in new or extreme ways, modifying contemporary realities to open up future possibilities. Number 3, alter the past to lead to different futures. Number 4, shape digital infrastructure by engaging with digital media and digital culture. Number 5, critique the past and reflect on Indigenous creative engagements with technology. He's also co-founder of Aboriginal Territories in Cyberspace, which you can learn more about at abtech.org. I'm putting the link up over there. abtec.org. We highly recommend checking it out. Check out the work that Indigenous peoples are doing in digital space and in technology. So with that said, welcome to ShishaTime.
Woo!
Woo!
Take it away,
Okay.
Dima.
Thank you so much. So I'm just going to introduce our artist. If we could actually mute you guys because the bubbling vibrates onto the Thank you so much. Mic is mine. So as you can see, we have lovely Leila Fatemi here. She's an emerging artist, curator, and community arts worker based in Toronto. Her work stems from her daily experiences as a visible minority and her perspective as a practicing Muslim woman artist. Leila aims to provide platforms and contribute alternative narratives to conversations of ethnic representation with a focus on the experience of Muslim women and women from the MENA region, as well as to create a better understanding of appreciation for Islamic culture and traditions. Through her multimedia approach, she challenges the inherently colonial narratives used in Western traditions of misrepresentation of the East. Leila holds an honors BFA from Ryerson University in image arts with a minor in curational studies. Her work has been exhibited in Canada and internationally and has been featured in online and print media, including Flash Forward and Fashion Magazine. Oh, she was the first place recipient of the Clyde & Co. Art Award for Excellence in Visual Art. Leila! Welcome, Leila. We love you.
Love you guys too. Am I still muted?
No, not anymore.
Okay, you heard my love for you?
Oh, I saw you. Yeah, I saw it in your face. Okay. All I need is your face.
It's always really weird though when you're listening to like your bio being read out loud.
I know. Fair. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. It's all good. Thanks for the introduction.
Sorry. Before we dive in, I was just going to ask, could you please tell us about your relationship to Shisha?
Oh, I feel like I have a long-standing relationship to Shisha. The first time I smoked Shisha was like really sneakily. I think it was like 13 or 14.
Yeah.
My parents were having like, I don't know, like a get-together, party, whatever you will. And there was Shisha there, and me and my best friend at the time snuck into the kitchen because the Shishas were there and no one else was there. And then we were just like taking tokes like under the table, quite literally. And and I don't know, I guess it was like one of those things where it's like you find agency in it, like, oh, I can smoke this now, like I'm grown. You know, because all the adults were doing it, so it was like a thing. And then I don't know, from there, I guess like in high school, like I didn't drink or do drugs or anything like that, so Shisha was like my vice if you will. So it became kind of like a pretty frequent thing, like smoking shisha every weekend. I had my own shisha. And then I got really into it in my 20s. And I think by the time I hit my mid-20s, I was just really over it. And because I had smoked so much, not great, exposing myself to it. And then I think in my mid-20s, I was just like over it. The smell of it kind of made me sick, like certain flavors especially. I feel like most people know what I'm talking about. If I mention double apple, like the smell and the feeling of double apple. Yeah. And I went through a phase where I was like obsessed with peach flavor, and then for so long. But after that obsession like died, I just couldn't have anything peach flavored for years.
I would throw up. I had peach. Yeah. I'm the same way. Because all I would do was smoke shisha. Exactly. I didn't drink or smoke when I was smoke. I didn't drink or do drugs when I was younger. So I did shisha with my friend who's actually in the chat. And we would do it for like 6 hours, like straight. And then we were like 16 and like no one it was at a shisha lounge. No one would card us. So I'm like exposing them. It's in Montreal.
Especially in Montreal.
There's no rules and it's all like, like brown guys just being like, come in. I'm like, okay.
Some people go to Montreal to like drink because it's like you can drink at an earlier age. At like 18, I was going to Montreal to go to shisha lounges because like
yes,
yes.
Oh my gosh!
Thank you so much for this overview on your relationship with shisha. I feel like it's really a universal story at the same time, I gotta say. Like, I feel like it's a universal story for brown girls, like probably a lot of us, we're like a little bit too scared to like drink and do drugs, but shisha, for sure. Lung cancer, why not,
Yeah, why not? You can't see it, it won't hurt you.
Yeah, exactly. It's the flavors. I think that's what it is. It's like, I guess like this generation with their flavored vapes, it's like the same kind of thing. Yeah.
I know, you can't tell me you're giving me watermelon flavored smoke and not want me to use it as a baby.
Yeah. Seriously. So
Matt, I don't know if we want to just introduce ourselves and the collective very quickly.
Oh yeah, I guess we should do that.
What? Sorry, Dima. Stupid SIRI started talking to me and I couldn't hear what you said.
I was just saying, Netta and I should introduce ourselves and the collective really quickly. So you're out of here. Mute Leila. We don't need this.
Oh shit.
I'm bubbling.
All right, Nerda, go for it.
Oh, I'm doing it? Okay. Hi, welcome to Dead Projects. Also, we are the ones hosting ShishaTime. We are a new collective that started in the pandemic, inspired by the loss of just everything, really. Life, opportunities, everything we kind of really knew. And also the loss of this, which was Dima and I going to shisha lounges all the time and hanging out and talking about things, talking about how to keep up with our creative communities, talking about our shared traumas, you name it. So then we decided to come together and build an online space because it seemed like the only way to really like gather and create and make things in like a safe way. And we really wanted to make sure that we were doing this in as sustainable of a way as possible, with like good opportunities, paid opportunities. And we spent a lot of time making sure that what we produce is like really thorough and well thought out, and that we are supporting artists as much as we possibly can through this. So I'm an artist based in Toronto. Dima?
Gosh.
Tell them.
Oh my gosh. Hi. I'm an interior designer based in Toronto as well. That's an illegal term I shouldn't use, but I will. And I work in Toronto, and I primarily want to explore how to bring what we do physically in interior design and architecture and bring it into a digital space, which I think we really translated well with our first exhibition. And really looking at how accessibility, oh, look at that pop-up. Okay, yeah, I'm really looking at how we can address accessibility, not only in our physical spaces, but in our digital ones as well. That's me.
So this is our 3D model. We're just going to go through this really quickly before we jump into our talk with Leila. So you can check this out at our website at deadprojects.ca. It's really fun to go through. If you haven't had a chance to check it out yet, I really, really encourage you do. We're going to have some of Leila's work on the side here as we talk through it as well for a little bit for folks who haven't familiarized themselves with it yet. And on that note, Leila, for people in the audience who don't really know yet, can you give us just like, sort of like a description of what this project is about?
Sure. Okay, so this project, I actually started it in 2013. And it was like the first project of mine where I was working with an archive. So I had found this archive by a French photographer named Marc Geringer. And basically he has a book out and he created these series of photographs of women that were living in the city that he was based in Algeria during the French occupation. And so he was basically commissioned to go and take these like identity portraits of everybody sort of living in the surrounding areas. And so he went out, he took all these photos of men and women, and then he went back to his commissioner and he delivered on the images. And then the feedback that he received was that the women need to be unveiled for the ID cards. So he was essentially prompted to go back into the area and re-photograph this woman, but require that they unveil. And so when I first saw the images, they're quite striking. I think you can find them pretty easily online if you search Marc Geringer, because the expressions of all of the women are just like very uncomfortable, and you can see that they do not want to be the subject of his photographs and they do not want to be in the situation that they're being forced into. So I had sort of like this physical reaction to seeing those images, and so I wanted to interrupt them and disrupt the image in some way, but I wasn't really sure how to approach it. And because all of the images I was sourcing online, I just started saving them. And then I started experimenting with importing the images into TextEdit. And then in TextEdit, it was all code. The images basically turned into code. And so I went into the code and I started just like removing some of the code. I was adding some like of my own reflections on how I was feeling seeing the images into the code. And then I re-exported them. And when I exported them back into image format, they would glitch and create these images that you see on the screen now. So that's basically kind of like how I conceived of the project and how it turned into what it turned into. It's quite a blind process, because when you're like removing code and when you're like writing in like, random reflections, in some images it's just like a sentence, and in some images it's like a whole like journal entry, I guess. You don't really know what the images are going to look like until you export them. So I would export them. If I was like happy with what they look like, that would be good. Otherwise, I would sort of bring them back in, keep fiddling around with the code, and then exporting them again. And then that project sort of just lived in, I don't know, my archive, I guess, if you will, until 2018, when it was part of a group show at the Koffler called Through Lines. And that was the first time that I exhibited it in a physical space. And so the way I exhibit it is kind of similar to how you see the 3D mock-up in Shock, where I had like two walls that were floor to ceiling filled with this grid, and then it kind of pixelated out. So if you change the view to the other side, can you like flip the view? Yeah, so how it kind of like, I guess like the intention was for it to like pixel away. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Leila. That was amazing. We love your work. We love you. I'm just going to give a little context to why we designed the space this way. So as you know, we have 3 artists throughout this whole exhibition, and sorry, can we mute? Can we mute everybody else because I hear the
Sorry.
Everyone, shut up. Okay, so also to answer your question in the chat, yes, you can smoke whatever you want instead of shisha. It's totally fine, but we don't endorse whatever you do if it's illegal. So, anyways, thank you, Netta.
Which is not illegal, just by the way. We live in Canada.
I know. But in case you're having sentiments about other things, don't do it. Anyways, weed's fine. Anyway, so we designed this space based on how to decolonize Western institutions. When the pandemic first hit, we noticed all the big museums, institutions were going virtual, with their stolen artifacts. And we were thinking, how can we take that power back into marginalized artists and emerging artists? So cool. Like, what a cool model. Okay, anywho's, hype myself up. So it was built really on the basis of accessibility and equality and taking back characteristics from neoclassical architecture and submerging the artwork into that structure. So it's taking it back from Western colonization. It's very simple formed. You don't want to take away from the actual art, but yeah, that's basically it. And each space is equal in size, so no artist gets too much or too little based on every other artist. And then you'll see like little things, like I put a ramp between each space so that it's an accessible, it's you can't actually walk in it obviously, but it's an accessible way to get through each room. And it just opens up a dialogue between what can we do in spaces that are being built digitally or even physically. Thanks, Netta. Thanks for that zoom through.
No
Look
problem.
at that, yeah. Beautiful model.
So yeah, if you haven't had a chance to check it out yet, please do.
And please watch the video, which it doesn't play in the actual exhibition, but I think you guys have linked to it. So I created the video specifically for this exhibition. So you can just click there and there's a link. If you folks are checking out the exhibition, please take the extra, I don't know, how long is the video? Like 2 minutes?
30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds, something like that. Yeah, you guys can watch it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so moving on. I guess, Leila, our next question to you is, what's your experience working with digital platforms? We're seeing a huge surge happening with them now because of the pandemic, but of course, this is not new. Digital practices have been going on for a really long time. Some artists have been engaging with them, longer than we have. So I'm wondering, what is that like for you?
This is the first, I think, digital space that I've occupied in this way. So this is a new thing for me too. I feel like pre-pandemic, I was kind of averse to the digital space for who knows what reason. I really don't know what reason that was, but I'm I don't know, because when you're in the art world, everything is all about physical space and immersing yourself in a physical space. So I think I just didn't think much about the power that a digital space can hold, especially in terms of accessibility. So digital spaces are all quite new to me.
Gotcha. And I think I love that too, because I know that Dima and I talked about this and we were we don't necessarily want it to just be a digital only practice in the sense that we're only working with artists who have worked with the digital. We also want it to be artists who maybe haven't yet had the opportunity to do that and see what that experience is like and sort of extend it in that sense. So I'm really happy that you had the chance to do that through this.
Yeah, and it was interesting, because I guess we've been having a conversation on and off since you proposed having me on the show. And so even conceiving of what the work would look like in a digital space was I was accessing a new part of my brain and doing so. So it's really exciting. And thank you guys so much for having me be part of it.
Thank you, bitch. Are you joking?
Unmute me. Am I muted?
No, you're not.
Hear you.
I can hear you.
Oh my god, my AirPod fell. It says the host muted your mic. So I'm just like screaming. Okay. Host is a liar. Digital space is a liar. Anyways, Leila, we want to get to know you as a human being. So I have a question. This is for our audience because we know your answers, but do you believe in astrology? And what are your top 3?
What are my top 3? What?
Astrology.
My top 3 astrology?
Sun, moon, rising.
Sun, moon, rising. Okay. Yes, I do believe in astrology. I have believed in astrology before it became like a cool thing. So before I even knew like what my rising and moon sign was, I am a Gemini sun, a Leo moon, and a Pisces rising. So I feel like I'm exposing myself by like talking about my chart.
Yeah, I want to roast you.
Yeah.
I guess it's private information if you think about it.
I guess it's private, but it's all good. I don't know. You guys can read into that however you want to.
We have
Sophie at first, and then you get to know her, and you really see the fire crackling.
The Leo coming out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know. Anytime I tell a Leo that I'm a Gemini, their first reaction is always like, "Oh God, I don't know about that." And then I'm like, "Don't worry, I'm a Leo moon. I'm one of you guys. I hate you guys just as much."
Oh shit!
Wow.
Sorry to any Leos in here.
I think we have lots of Geminis, which is great.
Audience. Gemini is the best.
Gemini is the best. Thank
you. Gemini is the best.
Thank you for your
and I do love Scorpios. Shout out to Scorpios.
We don't bring that.
Sagittarius.
We don't bring that energy here.
Yeah. Oh shit, Remton's a Leo. My bad, Remton. Love you, my best
friend. Okay, so next question. Do you think that punctuation is necessary or optional?
Punctuation?
Yeah. Commas, periods.
I feel like it's pretty necessary. Haven't you seen those memes where it's like the difference in punctuation? And like it's like one thing can be read one way or it can be misinterpreted a totally different way.
Okay, but is it? Because think about it. What even is the English language?
Okay, but that's a whole other conversation.
So there's this band in the UK. They're like these 12-year-old girls, and their whole band name is based on punctuation. They're called Let's Eat Grandma, and it's basically because like it's like where do you put the comma? So it's just like Let's Eat Grandma versus Let's Eat Grandma. So
you put it after grandma, obviously.
You put the comma after grandma.
Yeah. Okay,
End of sentence, comma.
Oh my god. Okay, so another question I know I'm really curious about.
Oh, wait. Before we move on, I need to know, how do you guys feel about punctuation?
Oh my god. Loaded question, Leila.
I love punctuation. I don't use it though.
Loaded question. You don't use it?
I mean, when I'm texting, do I use that? Someone roasted my punctuation once and I got really upset. It was this teacher and I think she was just low-key racist. But she was just like, is English your first language? Because I was so bad at punctuating my essay. I was like, oh, okay. It is.
Honestly, I have this very similar experience. I think that's probably why I like punctuation, because in like middle school and in high school, I was always told that I write the way I speak. And that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Is it a bad thing? I'm like, I want to see like essays written with no punctuation, just always. I want to like, just like as an experiment. What's that going to be like? How?
Okay, so Dead Projects needs to make a publication with no punctuation. The no punctuation publication.
Oh my gosh, let's do it. I'm ready.
Go. It even has a ring to it. Come on.
You're right. Dina, I think that's our next project.
Look, we have a lot of projects we talked about today. So
true.
Yeah. We're going to drop over time.
Also, if you guys have questions, you can just type them in the chat and then we will just say them out loud and then answer them.
Yes, we will. So please feel free to just fire them away. I want to highlight this comment. Teachers,
I was just going to say, highlight that comment.
Thank you, Camille. They don't know shit. I mean, some of them are okay. You know what?
Some of them are good. Unless you're
honestly, like I feel like one of my biggest anxieties around sharing my writing is based off of my teachers telling me that I write the way that I speak.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm like so hesitant to like ever share any writing that I do, because I'm just like,
I'm here for it. I support it. We're gonna work through that trauma. We're gonna write the way Leila speaks specifically.
Okay, I'll need to implement that into my artist statements.
Yeah.
It'll just be like, bro this, bro that. I started saying bro more because you say bro so much. I don't know, I love it. It's so aggro.
Who says bro so much?
You!
Me? Do I? Really?
Bro, yes.
Oh, Nana says it more than me. Yeah, right.
Because we got it from you!
Oh, crap.
100%. It came
She's
from
an
you.
influencer. She's an influencer.
She is an influencer. You should follow her on Instagram. She has a lot of followers, but she needs more.
Good segue.
I'm not an influencer. Don't get it.
Yeah, don't follow her. She won't influence you.
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry. No, go for it, Dima. I was gonna but
yeah. So we have some like ridiculous questions, but we also have like legit questions. So
but there's a really important question in the chat right now.
Oh yeah, soft shell or hard shell for your tacos?
Hard shell.
Please. Hard shell?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hard shell, always. You need the crunch. I don't know. I need to hear the sound of my food.
I can respect that. I can respect that. You want like a full visceral experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the crunch. Yeah. The crunch is pretty good.
What about you? You like hard shell, Dima?
I like the concept of hard shell, like aesthetically, but I don't like chewing a lot. So if it's just soft, just like goes down my throat, that's what I like. That's the good stuff.
I'm like, do you want a taco or do you want a soup? What's going on?
Fatma says, so you don't eat soup. I don't. Actually, I'm not a big soup. Thank you for highlighting that. I'm not a big soup eater, but I appreciate the simplicity that it just goes down my throat. Pizza Hut, like the cheese on top, that is so greasy, it like slides down my throat. So it's kind of like a soup when you chew it, like when it's just like in your mouth. Disgusting. Yeah, it's like a cheese. It's like a French onion soup.
Oh,
I'm stressed. I'm definitely a soft shell hoe. I don't know what to say, y'all.
Okay.
Anyways, but Dima, please take it away.
So obviously we're in a pandemic and everyone's having a hard time with staying creative and motivated. So we just want to ask you, how do you stay motivated throughout this 1 year of hell?
I feel like everything is just in waves. Like whether it's creativity, productivity, like anything, it's just really in waves. And I try to, I don't know, I guess since the beginning of the pandemic, I've been trying to think about creativity beyond just like the art that I make, because then it starts to feel a lot like labor. So at the beginning of the pandemic, I was cooking a lot and experimenting a lot in the kitchen. And so I just like felt like that's something that I wanted to do. But then I think in hindsight, I was like, wow, I was being very creative in the kitchen and it has nothing to do with my artwork. And I don't want it to have anything to do with my artwork because it's just another outlet. But I think in terms of my art, it definitely took a hit because beyond like the constant stress of being in a pandemic and whether or not we're like processing that mentally, our bodies are processing it constantly. And so it does have an effect on like our ability to focus or feel creative or stay creative. So yeah, I definitely had challenges throughout the pandemic, but in November, I moved my studio, which was in my apartment, into a physical space. And I think that has really helped because like I'm just between my home and my studio. Those are like the only two places that I go, aside from the grocery store, obviously. Because, gotta eat.
Which one? Yeah, that's fine.
I think it's a good segue into this like sub question. Are there more pros or cons to working from home as an artist?
So at the beginning of the pandemic, I think it was a pro that I had a home studio because like anytime I did feel a creative urge, I could just have like access to all of my supplies and like create on a whim. So that was definitely a pro for me. But as you know, months just kept going by and we were still in a pandemic, it became a lot more difficult because I work from home as my day job, and then I was just switching from like my day job to like my art practice, and then home really didn't feel like home anymore. Like it didn't feel like a space where I could relax because I was constantly feeling guilty if I wasn't doing anything quote unquote productive. So that was a really big challenge for me working from home as an artist. So I think those are like some pros and cons. But ever since I moved into like a physical studio space outside of my place, that has changed so much for me because now it's like, okay, 5 o'clock, I'm done. I can relax. I don't have to think about anything. I have like my set studio days where I go in and get whatever shit I need to do done. So yeah, so it's been interesting.
Nice. And I think that brings me to a question that I know I'm really curious about, because Toronto is like a really, really relentless and rough place to be sometimes, but also city to like live and work in as an artist. I mean, of course, in some ways it's so great being around so much all the time. But like as an artist, how do you make it work, you know, between all the difficulties of living in a city like this?
How does anyone make anything work? It's like it's challenging, and I think, I mean, I guess like one of the conversations around being an artist that like I kind of struggle with is like this struggling artist mentality that we kind of get funneled into and just even romanticize and like pre the reality of it. So like even when I was in school, I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna be a broke artist and I'm just gonna make art and not have means to live and it's gonna be great. You know?
There.
Yeah. And then you hit your late 20s and you're like, what am I doing with my life?
It's not cute.
Yeah, then it's not cute. It is challenging. I mean, I do, like I mentioned, I have like a full-time job, and so that when it comes to like the financial aspect of it, I wish I was in a position where I could say I'm just living off my artistic practice, but that's not the reality for me or the reality for most artists living in Toronto, unfortunately. So that definitely helps because I have like financial security in that aspect. Also, I love what I do as my day job. I work at Gallery 44 for those of you who don't know. And if you don't know what Gallery 44 is, I suggest you check it out because we do some awesome programming and I do all of the educational programming there. So it's nice that I have a job in the sector and in my field. And so I'm constantly connecting with other artists and youth. That's like a huge part of my job is working with youth, which is just amazing and consistently inspires me in different ways. So yeah, I mean, I think about it a lot where it's like, okay, if I was to just be a full-time artist, like, would that be better for me? And I don't even think I have an answer for that really, because, you know, there's so much value in the work that I do at my day job that, yeah, I feel like the inspiration would be less if I wasn't working full-time, which is weird.
I hear you. And I think I'm interested in hearing maybe like how this question from Bo, hi Bo, relates to that or doesn't. So Bo's asking, how has lack of immediate community, not being physically around your people or circle, impact your artistic headspace and process?
That's a really good question because it's like a question that I'm still trying to figure out an answer to because it's been so difficult not to be around my people, not to be able to like talk to people about the work that I'm doing, especially right now because I'm like working on this new project that is really kind of beyond my usual mediums of choice and my comfort level in essence. So not having like anyone that I can bounce ideas off or anything in like a candid way. Because I mean, I think I could reach out to people and people would be interested to talk to me about that. But it's different when like you are physically in a space with someone. And for me, there's so much value in that sort of like intimacy that you share in those physical spaces. So it's been really challenging, but I almost like, it's really sad, but I almost don't remember what life was like before the pandemic now, because it's been almost a year. So I'm like, how did I juggle a social life on top of everything else previously?
How did we do that?
I don't know.
I didn't go out, so I'm good.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we should learn from the best.
Like, I just don't socialize. Except you do, Dima. You socialize so much.
I know. I'm actually a fake introvert, is what I realized.
Yeah, you're literally such an extrovert.
Only when it's convenient. I'm just like, yeah, I just love being at home. And then I'm like, you go out. Yeah.
Yeah, true. I don't know. It's really tricky because I feel like so much of my social life was rooted in like the art community, and like going to openings and like seeing art and experiencing art and then talking to people about the art in those spaces and whatnot. So it's been difficult, but I feel like events like this and spaces where I get to just like shoot the shit with you guys is helpful. And so like even attending these sort of virtual artist talks, I've been trying to make more of a point to do, because it is easy. Like I can be doing anything but still like tune in to people. And so that has helped for sure. But it has felt really like isolating, which is tricky. But I think also where I am with this project that I'm working on right now, I've kind of needed the isolation in a way to sort of just focus on what I intend to do with the project. So yeah, I hope that answers your question, Bo.
Do you want to tell us a little more about this amazing project you're working on?
Elusive project that I'm working on?
What are you working on next? What can we expect to see from Hot Leila next?
That is a really great question, because I don't have an answer for you.
Love it.
Yeah, this project that I'm working on. Sorry, hold on. I'm just tending to my shisha. This is where I wish I was like at a shisha lounge where someone could come and change my clothes for me.
I know. Can we hire someone?
You know, I would be doing it for the both of you if we could be in person, but there is a highly infectious disease going around right now. So
unfortunately. Okay, so this project that I'm working on right now, I don't have too much language for it, so I don't really want to delve into it too deeply, but I'm working with archival images, which is kind of where the direction that my practice has been going in recently. And it all kind of stemmed from the Revealed project that's part of Shock. Because as I mentioned, that was the first time that I was working with an archive. And then, because my practice is pretty like straight photography for the most part, it has been, and that's how I've been known, I guess, through the images that I create. So this is definitely different from me, like working with found photos. But the archive that I'm working with, the majority of the images I sourced from the Getty Institute. They have a really large collection of Orientalist photographs. And so I've just been picking out images. I also like collect postcards, which is nerdy and weird, but I collect postcards from that era. And then one of the themes that I was noticing in these portraits of women from the North Africa region was like they were always photographed with water vessels, like it just became a prop that always made an appearance in the studio portraits that they as in like the French male photographers, and how they wanted to represent that region of the world. So I'm just really interested in like what the water vessel represents in the images. And so for this project, I'm working with a lot of different mediums. So I'm doing some collage work. I'm working a lot with ceramics, which is totally new to me. But it's really exciting. I've fallen in love with pottery and hand building. So that's like something I'm super excited about. Dima and Netta will know because I just shared an image today of like a piece that I created and I'm really happy about. And exclusive content. Yeah. I mean, it will be somewhere eventually. I don't have any plans for exhibiting it just yet. Right now, I'm just in the headspace of like finish the project, start the project, and then finish it, and then figure out where it's gonna live. I'm creating like a couple of installations for it too. I did some screen printing, which is also new to me. So I don't know. Yeah, I just like really went extra with this project and trying to incorporate as many mediums as I can. But I'm just trying to pull from these images and see like what other ways I can explore the like content of the images in different artistic mediums.
This is the most Gemini energy ever, I gotta say. You're just like
all over the place.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's one way of putting it. But I was just thinking like your like desire to just explore so many things and not contain yourself to like one medium, which is I have so much respect for artists who can actually do that and just like zone in on one medium and like really, really practice that craft. But at the same time, like I also love seeing artists like you just continue to like branch out and focus on like one, sort of like thing thematically in their practice, but explore it in like all these different ways. So I'm excited for this.
So at the beginning of the year, literally January 1st, so I was quarantined for 2 weeks over the holidays because my partner, Chris, got here from New York and we had to quarantine for 2 weeks. Yeah, I know, we had not seen each other for almost a year, so it was a big deal. So we finished our quarantine on January 1st, and then we went out for a walk, and randomly we like bumped into Rajni and her studio. Like her studio is just in the most random place, but she was there. And so she gave us a studio visit. And one thing that she said that I think really stuck with both Chris and I was like, she only has one life to be an artist. So she just wants to do everything that she can. And she doesn't want to limit herself in terms of like what medium she's using or how she's exploring her artistic practice, which is something that I've always respected about her practice because she just keeps expanding. Like her work just keeps evolving and expanding in size and medium in every approach that she's like trying. So when she said that, that really hit me. And I was like, yeah, I only have this one life to be an artist. So let me just do as much as I can, even if I suck at it. And yeah. So
thank you, Rajni Pereira.
Yeah, thank you, Rajni. And piece of advice, I hope everyone can take that, and whether you're an artist or not, and just apply it to whatever your passion is.
Yep. Retweet. I don't want to miss this great question from Camille. So she says, I stole this question from another talk I attended a few months back that I think is super interesting. As an artist, what is a question you wish you were asked more?
Oh, that's a great question. And I don't even know if I have an answer for that, Camille, because I feel like oftentimes I don't even know how to talk about my practice unless I'm prompted with questions. And so I wouldn't know what questions I would want to be asked. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's really hard for me because I feel like I don't know how to talk without questions anyway about my artistic practice anyways. So I don't know what that question would be.
Is there a question that you really don't like being asked, conversely?
Oh, yeah.
Don't be offended, but what can we expect from you? What are you doing now?
Okay.
I'm the same way. It's the same, I feel you.
It's like, okay, pressure.
You could have been like, no, I got nothing.
Yeah, I know, but then that would kind of be a lie. But no, it's tricky because it's like, I don't know, especially with this project. I think that's why I kind of just gave you guys highlights about what the project is about. It's like I'm still working through it. I'm still in a really vulnerable place with it, especially in like all these new random mediums that I'm trying. So it's really hard when people are like, oh, what are you working on right now? And I'm not really in the place to talk about it. Yeah.
I also feel like if I'm working on something like freelance and I'm not 100% sure what it is, I don't want to like jinx it by explaining it to someone, because then I'll like, I don't know, I'm like super superstitious about it. So I'm like, I'm sure Netta knows when we first started Dead Projects, I was like, don't say a thing, because like we don't know what this is yet. And she's like, why not? I was like, shut up, Netta.
That literally happened.
Yeah. I don't know. It just like, it gets me so anxious. And
I think it's like we don't want there to be expectations on what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, but this is, again, circling back. This is brown as fuck, okay? We're literally scared of the evil eye. I'm going to pop this in there.
Yeah,
just
whoever eyed us today.
We need the protection.
Yeah.
Make sure you say mashallah first.
Mashallah, everybody. Ramtin, Abdul, everyone in the chat. Mashallah. Actually, we have a question. We have a question for Ramtin. Oh, hi, everybody. Okay, great. So he's asking, who has been your role model that you... Oh my God. Who have been your role models that you think have influenced the evolution of your art the most?
I feel like that's always changing. My art is often influenced by like a lot of things, like my life, but also like what I'm reading or other art that I've seen. But I think recently an artist who sticks out to me, whose work I really admire and I've admired for a while. Her name is Maimouna Ghoraisi. She's a photographer. She makes really incredible like images that are rooted in Sufism, which is a sect of Islam. And so her images are just, she's really seeking to like portray the spiritual, whatever her interpretation of that is, and like Sufi practices in her work. And so I really actually like have her book right here. I'm going to show you guys because I love her work so much.
Oh my God. Look at this.
Yeah, because I want you guys to check out her work too. So this is her book. That's her name. It's called Inner Constellations. So she's an artist whose work I'm really inspired by. I feel like she also got into her practice like later in life, and that I'm always inspired by artists who do that, because I feel like they come in to their practice with like different lived experiences and from different like areas that really informs their work. So that's really cool. And then also the writer Fatima Mernissi. I've been really into her writings recently, because I think a lot of my work right now is dealing with Orientalism, or has been for a few years now. And she writes a lot about that, especially in her work, Scheherazade Goes West. That's a really good book. So that has definitely influenced my work recently. So yeah, but it's hard to say like long-term role model who that would be. I don't know.
Yeah.
Somebody asked for the name of the first artist that you mentioned.
Can I just? Oh, I can't type it in the chat. It's Maimouna, Mai.
I just put it up.
Oh, you just put it up. Oh, perfect. Yeah, that's okay.
And who was the other artist, Leila?
She's a writer, Fatima Mernissi.
How do you spell the last name?
Mernissi.
Nissi. So for folks who want to write that down, hopefully I spelled her first name right. I'm not sure if there's an I in there or not.
I don't know, because I've seen it spelled both ways, actually. I've seen the Fatima spelled a couple of different ways.
Once again, English language, fake news. However you spell in English doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah, exactly, because it's being translated from Arabic, so.
Yeah.
We're going to throw in a ridiculous question right now, just so you're prepared. So,
yes.
Leila, we're going to play Fuck, Marry, Kill. McDonald's, A&W, Burger King.
Okay, first of all, like, I only eat halal, so, like, can you be relevant? Because
I eat at all places, so none of this.
Okay, which one's not halal? All of them?
all of them have like options that I can eat, but I don't think I've ever had anything really from Burger King, like proper.
Is that your kill?
To be honest.
Is that your kill?
I think probably Burger King is my kill. Actually, I think I had Burger King in Dubai, but their meat smelled funny, so I really wasn't into it.
What was their menu like there?
Dubai's menus are just insane. Yeah, and okay, so that's kill. Marry, I guess like McDonald's, because like that's like safe. I can always get my fish fillet and fries.
Your financial
also,
stability.
it's like such a, I don't know, I had like a ritual with my friends one summer where we would always just like get McDonald's fries and iced coffees and go to the park and eat bullshit. If they're in here, they'll remember. And what's the last one? A&W?
Yeah, that's the one you're gonna
You're
marry.
gonna
You're
fuck
A&W.
I guess I don't know. Their Beyond Meat burger was pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are good answers. Those are my answers too.
Yeah. But anyways, I wish you guys picked better options. Sorry.
Wow.
What options? Pizza.
What, Popeyes?
Yes. Yes.
Popeyes. So where's Popeyes in there? Fuck, marry, kill.
Popeyes isn't a Canadian thing, though. Like, we don't have it in Quebec. For our Quebec viewers, this is exclusion, guys. What the fuck?
There is dangerously a Popeyes like downstairs from me, so.
It sounds like you're marrying Popeyes. Like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, it sounds like you're actually marrying Popeyes and divorcing
McDonald's. But Popeyes wasn't an option, so.
Wow, we just made it an option.
Okay, well, I guess I'm marrying Popeyes then.
It got too dark too fast.
We didn't make that question inclusive enough, clearly.
Yeah, so sorry.
Way to think about my dietary restrictions, guys.
I know, I'm sorry. That was Islamophobic for sure. That was straight up.
Now you're Islamophobic towards me. You know what? I'm done with this.
You were like, I eat all of them.
I'm dead.
Okay, Leila. We'll have one more ridiculous one, and then we can get into more serious questions. But we all know you have an answer for this. I know you do. We all have as little when we were children. But have you ever had a crush on a cartoon character? It's so funny to wearing a Big Daddy t-shirt. It's just so ridiculous.
I'm sure I had a crush on a cartoon character, but now I'm just like blanking on like what cartoons did I watch as a kid. Like
Sailor Moon.
Need some prompting. Yeah, who didn't watch Sailor Moon? But I don't think I was at the age where I was crushing on anyone.
I'm sorry, you did not want to get in with Tuxedo Mask?
I don't think so.
You're sick.
I don't think so. No, I think I was in Sailor Moon for the women and their powers. Like I wasn't in Sailor Moon for the dudes. It could be
a girl crush. It could be anything. Sailor Mars, super
hot. What did I watch? I all of the Sailor Moon characters were hot. Okay.
I didn't like Mercury. She pissed me off.
I was so obsessed with Sailor Moon. I remember I had this doll that my mom bought me like when I was born, and it was like a really expensive doll for some reason. And I drew the Sailor Moon in permanent marker on her forehead, and my mom was so pissed.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Why do moms get their kids weird dolls when they're born? Like, my mom still has dolls that she gave me, and she's like, "Look how cute it is." I'm like, "It's demonic. It has buttons for eyes. What do you want me to? I'm a 30-year-old woman. What do you want me to do?"
Yeah, but you're her only daughter, like obviously.
Like, what do you want? It's like it was porcelain. It was like from a Goosebumps episode. It was awful.
That sounds so terrifying. What the heck?
It's terrifying. It is. No. Imagine it's like in your closet. Like falls.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, but I really want to give you guys an answer to this question, so I don't know. Maybe the guy from Recess? I don't know.
Which guy from Recess?
The main guy. What was his name?
I'm stressed.
Like Russell? I don't know.
No, was that his name? I don't know. That's like the only show that I remember. What did I watch as a child?
I don't think any of them.
So cute and wholesome. I don't think I was crushing on anyone from Arthur.
Oh.
Wow. Okay, well, clearly you weren't a raunchy child like the rest of us. So
I'm
I don't
sorry. I'm sorry.
This is upsetting.
I was too busy crushing on like
TJ.
I don't even know who.
Thank you,
TJ.
His name is
Oh yeah,
TJ.
TJ. That was his name. Yeah, probably TJ.
Thank you.
I don't know. What did we watch as kids, really?
Crush, you forgot his
Oh,
name.
probably all of the Dragon Ball Z characters.
Oh my god, there we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Like
Dragon Ball Z.
super hot, super aggro. Like, I see what you like. I see.
Oh my god, yeah, Goku's so hot. His wife is so hot.
I think Goku, yeah.
So hot.
I don't know, who are your crushes?
Oh, Tuxedo Mask for sure, hands down.
Okay,
I
so
already knew that about you from your Clubhouse. This was a Clubhouse question that you're recycling, by the way.
Yeah,
don't think I didn't catch that.
Block Hot Leila. Block her.
I'm muting you.
Over.
Oh
my god.
I agree. Vegeta can still get
dead.
Yeah, when he's older with like a mustache and kids, I was like, you are literally daddy. You are daddy.
Yeah, is that your crush, Dima?
They're all that was a good answer, is the Dragon Ball Z guys. They're all hot. They're literally jacked. They're all just jacked. Even as like children, they're jacked. I was like, is this wrong? Yeah.
And they have powers.
And they have powers. They have like a cloud they can ride on. But I have some drums. I have drums with Tuxedo Mask because I think Crave has all the Sailor Moon episodes, so I like binged it. Yeah. So I binged, but there's the Japanese ones that are like dubbed in English, so they're like really annoying. But there was like a whole article I found because I was like Tuxedo Mask is so annoying. Only real freaks allowed. Thank you, Camille.
That's us.
Tuxedo Mask is like, he was so annoying. So I Googled him. I'm like, why is he so annoying? And there's like articles about him just being like abusive, like emotionally abusive, and like, yeah, and like just treating like Serena so badly, and like they have like their kid, right? And then treating them badly. And apparently, I don't remember this episode, but they were like fighting a monster, and then she was like, I really need your help, Tuxedo Mask. And he just like left them there. He's like, you can handle it. I have to do something else. He just, like, went to I know. And like he's always like putting her down and stuff. And I was like, it's so true. He does. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tuxedo Mask is problematic. This is now about problematic cartoon men.
Artist talk hijacked.
Yeah,
that's where masculinity started.
Vegeta too, emotionally abusive towards Bulma. I said it. Fight me on it. Fight me on it. But it's true.
You're not wrong.
That's why we all love him. We're like, oh.
I see what we're attracted to. Yeah, that's the problem.
Okay,
so I think somebody edited our non-inclusive question about fuck, marry, kill. So here are your renewed halal options: Nando's, Five Guys, or Hero Burger.
Okay, first of all, Five Guys is not halal, so like that is just like kill Five Guys. I would definitely marry Nando's and fuck Hero Burger.
Damn.
Those are my answers.
I don't like any of these places. These are all very Ontario, again, non-exclusive. Thank you, Netta, for pointing that out. So I'd like to delete this question.
I would just like to point out that Dima's been living here for a really long time.
Yeah.
Like,
why are you acting like this?
I swear.
I gotta put on a persona, okay?
Yeah, it's working. We see it. You are pretending like you're still in Montreal, but you're not.
I know, it's been like 9 years. I'm just like, you guys don't understand. I just got OHIP 2 months ago. Leave me
I can't watch.
Okay, that was my pandemic. I got OHIP after a pandemic.
So I guess
you met halal guys. Okay, sorry.
Halal guys.
Well, that changes things, man.
Yeah. Bring the list back.
Okay, so in that case, I will kill Hero Burger. I will still marry Nando's, and I will fuck halal guys.
Okay.
Because this is contextual to Canadian cuisine, because the halal guys in Canada does not compare to the food truck in New York. Like,
That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
No, period.
Damn. Is there halal guys here? I mean, like,
yeah, there is. Yeah,
is,
well,
right?
not where we live, but there's one on like Church and Young. Is it Church? Wellesley and Young? Around there. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Wellesley. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so we have, but apparently it's not going to be any match for the New York halal guys anyway.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys all are now very familiar with my food preferences. But that's the only thing to take away tonight. What I like to eat. Okay.
You're like, whoa, yeah. Fuck halal guys, gotta eat that. I want to fuck that too.
But you were talking earlier about how, sorry, Dima, I cut you off.
I was just going to say, we don't promote the fucking of food on this show. Please don't literally do it. Or do, I don't know. I don't kink shame.
Yeah, I was going to say. Like, sorry. Great, honestly. That's my message.
You do you.
I'm
so sorry.
But earlier you were talking about how like food was an interesting creative outlet for you, like earlier on in the pandemic, and about how you like to explore different mediums all the time. So I'm curious, like, what is a genre or medium that you really love, but you currently don't work in, or maybe you don't work in yet, and why?
Anything that is like an installation. I really love installation art and artists who work like a large scale that way. I'm not currently exploring it, but I do have plans to. I feel like a lot of the mediums that I love and I haven't explored to this point, I'm trying to push myself to figure out a way to incorporate in my practice through this project. So like for a long time, I really loved the idea of pottery, but like I was just like, I'm a photographer. How does this make sense in my work? So I just didn't incorporate it. It was like a hobby, I guess, that I like to do. And collage too. I was always like so scared of collage because I was like, I don't know how to successfully make a really compelling composition with like multiple images. How do you do that? So yeah, so I feel like a lot of the mediums that I'm drawn to, but never dabble in, I'm trying to. I would love to do performance, but I don't know if I can do that. Like that is beyond me, really. I don't even know what I don't think so. I get like stage fright.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's pretty normal, but performance art is like in this weird, I don't even know. It's like you can kind of you can almost miss the stage fright because performance artists have a way of just like not needing the audience. I don't know what that's about. And you can kind of like circumvent it somehow. I don't know. I see performance art in your future. I'm ready for it.
I don't know, Nada. I think that's just because performance art is like part of your practice. So you're like so comfortable in it and you're just like, yeah, anyone can do this. But
literally.
Like, I feel like I couldn't take myself out of the fact that there is an audience present and knowing that like whatever my performance is should be engaging in some way because like why else are they there? And so yeah, I don't know, I feel like it for me in my approach or my approach in general, I feel like it would become more about the audience's interpretation of my work rather than why I'm creating the work, if that makes sense, which is not usually how I work. So I don't know. Yeah. It's like even like artist talks. I mean, this is really chill and virtual, but like if we were doing this in person, like in a room full of people, I would be really nervous. Yeah, I would be. Yeah. So like speeches, anything, I'm not great at it.
Same.
That's fair. I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're gonna wrap this up with one last question.
Hey.
And it's catered to you, Hot Leila. But we know you're an avid TikTok fan. So can you tell our audience what your favorite product has been during this pandemic?
Oh my god, yeah, but I have to bring it.
Live performance art from Hot Leila.
See? Yeah, this is
It's not a performance. I am not going to be demonstrating at all. But I will say, yes, I do. I am obsessed with TikTok, which is like, I don't know, kind of weird. But I just feel like I learn so much on that app. Like I'm just constantly learning things on that app. But my favorite, like, I guess, try and buy from TikTok has been a really superficial item, if you will. It's this Maybelline tattoo brow that I am obsessed with. Like, I have eyebrows now thanks to this thing that I don't have to wipe off every night. So that has changed my life in a really positive way. And yeah, I highly recommend the Maybelline tattoo brow if you're like me and you don't have eyebrows. Yeah.
okay. So are you wearing it right now?
No.
Okay, wow. Your eyebrows are amazing.
Because I filled them in. Okay. But with this amazing product, I don't need to fill them in because you just like paint it on, let it dry for 20 minutes, peel it off, and then it lasts for like 3 days.
Is this Maybelline?
Honestly, yeah, sorry, is it Maybelline?
It's Maybelline, yeah.
Okay, where's Maybelline? Because we need a sponsorship.
Yeah.
Sorry?
We need a sponsorship. Where's Maybelline? Like,
I know, right? I don't know, but honestly,
Anna's asking. Sorry, what did you fill them in with?
Oh my God.
She also has no eyebrows. She'd like to know.
Well, this is not going to be really helpful to you, but like 4 years ago, my best friend brought me this like eyebrow, I guess, like, I don't know, like product that you use to fill in your eyebrows from Zanzibar. So this is like so not helpful. But it literally, I have barely made a dent in it and it's been 4 years. So like, I think it's going to last my whole life. So shout out Miss Ria, if you're in here, shout out to Miss Ria who hooked me up with that amazing. Yeah. So very not helpful, but it's great.
Wow. Okay. Well, see, I knew you had an answer because we know you love TikTok. You're their like number one.
And eyebrows. Let's not downplay that. Yeah. It is interesting because like TikTok is like just full-blown capitalism. Like it's always just like, you need to buy this. This is what you need from Amazon. This is what you need from Target. This is what you need from Walmart. And I'm just like, damn.
It's true. Actually, my facial cleanser is from someone on TikTok.
I'm telling you. It's because it's like, I don't know, you know how like YouTubers used to do like those YouTube videos where they would try a bunch of products? Then you have to like sit down and watch a whole YouTube video about them talking endlessly. But this is like 60 seconds. You're giving me a review on a product. I'm here for it.
It wasn't even a review. They just said we like it. And I was like, I'll get it.
Yeah, it's true.
I'll take it. This Gen Z said it. I'll take it.
I know. Oh my God, the Gen Zs are really, I don't know.
I'm ready for them.
They feel so old.
Yeah.
They make me feel so old.
Same, but I'm also like, you are the future. Whatever you say, I will do it. I don't care. Just lead the way.
Natasha, yes, it is therapy.
It is true.
Can we highlight? Thank you. It is exactly that. That's exactly what I got.
Oh my God. Love that.
So this has been so much fun. Thank you so much, Leila, for
we have to wrap up right now. Oh, okay.
I mean, we can start after, but for our audience,
forever. Do we have any more like questions from the audience? Because now's the time. Like, fire them in.
As you see, we actually care what it is. Yeah,
not at all. We actually had one that I missed though, but it was a good question from Natasha. What accomplishment are you most proud of as an artist during quarantine?
Well, that's a good question. I feel like I'm proud of a lot of different things. One like major milestone, which I mentioned previously, was like moving into studio space. It's like the first time that I actually have a physical space outside of my home. So that was a huge accomplishment for my practice and being able to expand it in the ways that I want to expand it. Another huge one was I was a finalist for the Toronto Emerging Artist Award. That was really big for me. Just like, you know, that feeling of validation of your work. Like people are seeing it, people appreciate it, especially like in quarantine where it's like so isolating. It's like, oh wow, I guess my work is relevant in some way.
In a lot of ways. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, and I recently also won a scholarship award through the Lucy Foundation. That was also a big accomplishment. They are a foundation based in LA, and they do a lot of awards. So if you're like a photo-based artist, you should definitely check them out. So their scholarship award is to support a project that you currently have in process. So that's going to support the project that I spoke about kind of briefly, which is called A Vessel to Bend Water. And that's what I'm currently working on. So yeah, so that's not one, that's three. And I feel like I was kind of tooting my horn there. So somebody humble me real quick.
You're beautiful and amazing. We can't.
No, you can't keep gassing me. It's gonna go to my head.
Everything you do turns to gold.
You're asking the wrong people. Like, I love you. Dima's literally in love with you. Like, come on.
True. I can't.
Brampton has an interesting question. What dream gallery or exhibit would you want to be featured in?
It's Dead Project. Shock.
There we go. Already featured. Done. I can quit my artistic practice.
Inspiration and general.
I don't think I have like a specific place because I think it would really depend on the context. Like, what is the exhibition about? And like, how does it make sense in the space that it occupies? But I would like to do more international exhibitions just because I'm curious to know how my work is going to be received in different parts of the world, because obviously a lot of my work is informed by my experience like living in the West. And so, yeah, so I'm just curious to know like how different audiences would like receive my work. So hopefully there's room for me in places outside of Canada in the future somewhere. If you have connects, let me know.
I respect that. You know, it's really easy, I think, for us in Toronto to kind of just stay in Toronto because we love it so much and there's so much happening here. And there's like a lot of different perspectives from like everywhere in one city. And like, we're so lucky to have that. But I also do feel like, I don't know if like you two have done this as well. Sometimes it's like, it doesn't like push outside of that. Like we kind of keep it within ourselves a lot. So what happens when work that's just like having this conversation in the city goes somewhere else? You know, it happens sometimes, but like, I want to see what happens when your practice is in like Europe or in Asia or like wherever, right? Like I want to know how it's received and how it's different, how it's similar to those audiences.
Yeah, I'm curious too about what the feedback would be, or like if people in that region can relate to it and like how they can relate to it and like how much of a universal experience is the experience that I explore in my work and whatnot. So yeah, I'm definitely curious about that.
We have a great question from the Bay, Chris.
Hi, Bay.
Oh my gosh, Bay, stay away from my woman.
Chris is asking, which of your own works of art do you look at and low-key marvel that you made it?
I thought we were not going to be tooting my horn anymore. Like, what? Chris, you're supposed to humble me right now. Like, what? Good question. I feel like, well, I'll talk about two, because right now I'm just like obsessed with these vessels that I'm making, because I'm just like, wow, I can make pottery. Who knew? You know what I mean? But like, I don't want to talk about that too much because like I haven't shared it really with anyone. So like nobody's really gonna know what I'm talking about. Don't forget. Say mashallah, everyone.
Yeah, mashallah.
Wait, we're bringing it.
Bring it back, everyone. We have Evil Eye in the chat.
Thank you so much.
But another project that I really, really love making, and I really do love like the aesthetics of it, is my Disorienting Orientalism project, where I'm taking 2 Orientalist paintings and I layer them and cut Islamic geometric patterns into. And I just think they're visually really interesting, at least. Maybe I'm biased, but also the process of like hand cutting, the labor that goes into like hand cutting each of the images. I think when I'm in it, it just seems like so laborious. I'm like, this is never going to finish. But then the end project always surprises me somehow. And that so I had an exhibition in October at X Space in the window space, and that project, Facade Through the Facade, was an extension of the Disorienting Orientalism project, and that one I'm like super proud of because it was my first, I guess it was my first installation that I made, so I guess I have worked in installation now. Sometimes I forget what I do. And yeah, that project was really fun to make. I loved working with the X Space team, and yeah, it was, yeah, I don't know, the feedback that I got was like, this was the first time that the window space had been occupied in that way. So that was like really affirming, I guess. Yeah, those images are not up on my website yet, but they will be soon. So you guys can all check that out. But yeah, I think those are the projects that I'm like pretty proud of right now.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And one last question before we end it off.
I'll tell you when. We have Megan Feely and Zoma next. Oh no, I thought they were on the same day. Scratch that. Our next one is next Saturday at 8 p.m. Same time, same place. And then the one after that is February 27th. Not same time, same place. It'll be at 2 p.m. So get your burgers ready. Halal guys, whatever you want. We don't discriminate. Apparently not Burger King though. No
No smelly meat. Yeah, so everybody get your calendars out right now. You heard that. What? February 20th at 8 p.m. and February 27th at 2 p.m.?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Yeah, and it's right here if you missed it. So I hope to see everyone there because I will be there.
Thank you so much, everybody. This was amazing.
Yeah, thanks for coming. I wish we could just stay on forever because this is fun.
Actually, I think the 3 of us will. We're just going to end the stream, so the rest of you can go. Go home. You are home.
Oh, yeah, you better be home.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.